Right on. Welcome back, guys. So, don't know if you saw the first video here, making the back of it, creating the tailgate and all, but here's what I did for the tailgate. Forgive the fan if you can hear it in the background. I kind of got some overspray floating around here, just making some presents, you know. Call it old-fashioned, but I like to make the presents instead of just go buy the presents, right? So anyway, just like I said, ended up cutting up some fence posting here, some 1x1 tubing just for the fencing. You see the steel fencing around construction sites. That's all this was. Cut that up, and same thing with the round bar on the top. That was the top of the fence. So once those were all cleaned up and ready to go, what I did was, again, took my scribe off the front convex here that we have at the back end, front matching. Tailgate's just going to match that too. Scribed it off and actually doubled that, so it was just a big moon shape. And from there, I just notched out the 1-inch tubing all the way around, and that closed up really nicely to create the convex. So really taking a bigger grinder wheel here was what's critical, just to deburr all the straight edges of these little 1/16 of an inch straight cuts to get the bend. And then tacked it all together, welded it up, grinded it down, and then here we go. So we got these two little pieces made now. So from there, it was like we were discussing before with the round tubing going across the top and the bottom, and just, again, cleaning up some of the old zinc coating on there from the fence, and we're ready to weld. So ended up putting that all together and getting a nice frame. It was nice and straight, square, just how we want it. And, stood back and thought, what am I going to do here? So the plan is to wrap it in metal on both sides. And I just thought, it's not going to be me sitting on this tailgate. I'm going to be leaning into the truck. But one day, someone else is going to fold down the tailgate and sit on it. And the last thing I want that to do is crush in the sheet metal on the top. So I did add one more support across the center of this, just so there's something just to bottom out on, so that it's not going to just collapse on itself, so the strength is there. So put some primer on it, and there we go. This is what we ended up with. So as you can see, we've got the curve going on that we want, and then this center bar, it's flush to the top, so when the tailgate's open, if you sit on this corner, it's not going to just collapse it, right? Probably going to be running something thicker on here, 16 gauge, maybe a little more. And the back edge itself, I'm going to be doing in 16 for sure. But this will give us a little bit of an idea here, or you a little bit of an idea of what my full plan is here. If we can make it not fall down, right? Check this out. Just get the pop out of here. All right, so right when the air ride comes down, have this little bit of a slope poking out, right? Just when we're cruising, just to have the look. So again, just going to be figuring out how to mount this. I'm going to bolt it on somehow, but it's going to end up doing something in the neighborhood of that, right? And then just anchor it up just like so. The overlap I'm planning to do will be sheet metal that comes over onto this face edge of the box or the bed. Same on both sides. And then running my sheet metal, of course, here. The only thing I'm going to be really in decision on here, maybe you guys can mention something, is the way that this will run up. If I take it a bit longer with the sheet metal, I can actually create a point on this. Instead, have this round at the top on the outside or the inside of the bed, but create a point coming off the top, really just to hug this tight, so that just, it'll just French in there like it's not even there, and it's just a shape of the back of the bed, right? Pretty happy with how it turned out though, so far. We're going to be getting quite creative here on how we're going to make the other piece, right? The metal that covers it there. It's going to be, you know, about a 12-inch circle I need to use to create this bend. And I don't have any pipe that's going to work on that. So I have been thinking about it, and I do have a plan. So that much you're going to have to stay tuned for. All right. So part 2 of the tailgate, we're going to just get the sheet metal on the plasma cutter here, cut her up to size, get everything laid out, and then put some bends in it and tack it all down and figure out some pins or something here just to be rotating it up and down the way we like, right? Right on. Quick one here, but thanks for checking it out as always.